Good afternoon, students. Welcome to Bridge Course Biology class. So this is the 5th class. In the previous class, we observed the nucleus and endoplasmic reticulum as the major components of cells. And we heard one more term, that is endomembrane system. What is that endomembrane system? So here inside the plasma membrane, that is in the cytoplasm, in a eukaryotic cell, there are many organelles. So those are the major organelles, and those organelles are again covered by membrane. Of course, those are present in the membrane. What is that membrane? Plasma membrane. Inside that plasma membrane, again they are covered by their own membrane, endomembrane, and all those organelles form a system. Just like our system, we are having the digestive system, for example. So our digestive system, it is having different organs. So we are having a mouth, that means a buccal cavity, we are having a esophagus, we are having stomach, we are having a large intestine, having the small intestine, all together form a system. So in that sense, all the organelles together form a system, and those organelles must be covered by their membranes, endomembrane systems. So in that endomembrane system, majorly we observed the nucleus connected with the endoplasmic reticulum. In the previous class we observed that one. And to the endoplasmic reticulum, and one more thing, if you consider endoplasmic reticulum, yesterday just I gave the that is a major function of endoplasmic reticulum in the form of a rough endoplasmic reticulum and in the form of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. But thing is, if we consider endoplasmic reticulum, it will perform different functions, vast other functions. Say for example, in case of liver cells, in the first class itself, in the introduction class itself, I told one thing. So to our body, liver is considered to be just like a police station. To a town, how the police station is important, in the same way to our body, liver is at most important. So one thing, it will check whatever the microorganisms entering our body, whatever the pathogens entering our body, it will check. And one more major thing, so imagine just one thing. So on an average, 2 months or 3 months, we will be suffering from some small discomfort conditions, some small diseases or small disorder conditions. So for example, we may be suffering from fever, we may be suffering from sneezing, coughing, or else we may be suffering from the chill condition, headache, whatever it might be. So for such kind of minor conditions, discomfort conditions, sometimes we are going to take tablets. So that is the common thing every people will do, every man will do. So taking the tablets. So on an average, if we consider a year, so usually that tablet will be present in milligrams. That means that the content of the tablet, actual the drug content of the tablet, it will be present in milligram. Compared to our huge body, it is nothing. But thing is, compared to our individual cells inside the body, that material, that matters a lot. That even that small milligrams material. So such kind of many tablets we are going to take in our daily life. And when those tablets are acting inside our body, when their work is done, when their work is killing off microorganisms, when their work is done, so some amount of that material, toxic material, drug material, will be remained as it is in the body itself. So that may become a toxic material. So such kind of drug toxic materials get detoxified. Toxic material, that means poisonous. Toxic effect of a drug, that means tablet what we have taken, so that get detoxified by the endoplasmic reticulum, and that particularly in case of liver cells. And one more thing, endoplasmic reticulum, it is the channel present connecting nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. So in that sense, endoplasmic reticulum is at most important. To the endoplasmic reticulum, one more structure is attached, but not to the nucleus, just near to the endoplasmic reticulum. That kind of one structure is Golgi complex. And apart from the Golgi complex, so in the same class, let us see the powerhouse of the cell also. Let us concentrate 2 cell organelles in this class. Yes. So the first one is Golgi complex. So actually Camillo Golgi is the scientist name. He observed this kind of cell organelles in the cell first. So hence that name came on behalf of that scientist itself. Golgi complex. Why it is considered to be the complex means it is a complicated structure, just like endoplasmic reticulum, or sometimes more than that one also. So Golgi complex, and it is near to the endoplasmic reticulum itself. So for example, imagine this marker is endoplasmic reticulum and it is connected with the nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, that is directly connected with this Golgi complex. And here this Golgi complex, it is made up of these tubular structures, just like endoplasmic reticulum, and these tubular structures, they are filed one above the other, just like saucer, tea saucer. We are using tea saucer. If you invert the tea saucer above another saucer, like that, if you file many saucers together, we can get this kind of structure. And this is a tubular structure made up of two membranes, and here two membranes are present here. Say for example, if this is one tubular structure means if I cut, it is like this. If I cut the structure like this, and if I open means it is made up of two membranes, and center there is gap. That lumen is present, and in that lumen many chemicals are present, many biochemical activities, many metabolical activities are going to happen. And here all of these structures, they are called as cisternae. Actually this is the plural form, cisterna. So all these structures, they are called as cisternae. And these cisternae, so imagine one thing, for endoplasmic reticulum or for Golgi complex. So usually we will be playing puzzle work in the newspapers. So puzzle work in the sense hide and seek like activities. So at one end of that diagram, so one end of the diagram there will be mouse, at another end something that foodie material will be present, and we have to make the mouse to reach that food material. So there will be zigzag pathway. So some pathways will be wrong, one pathway will be right over there. We have to find out that, we have to trace that path. So while tracing how it will move, in that sense here also the materials are moving inside. So those tubular structures are called as cisternae here. Many cisternae have been arranged one by one. And in that sense also it is having the sheet like structure, just like endoplasmic reticulum. But in the previous diagram, in the yesterday's diagram, I had not shown that a sheet like structure. So above a sheet will be present. Here also it will be having a sheet like structure. And one more important thing, it is having a vesicle. So vesicles are at most important here. So these are the small bubble like structure, the vesicles. So vesicles are very functional part of a Golgi complex here. And if you come to its description here, Golgi complex, it is the packaging center of cell. That means from the endoplasmic reticulum or from other parts, whatever the materials get formed, those materials are packed in the center. So it is one packing center. So for example, if you want to gift something in any ceremony, in a marriage, say for example marriage ceremony, so our friend is going to get married, then we have to present something there means. So we will go to the gift center and we will buy any one item. But thing is, we will not directly hand over that item to our in that ceremony. First we will make it to be packed. That means we are going to pack that material. Whenever it is packed, then only it looks nicely. In that sense, whatever the material gets formed in the cell or by the endoplasmic reticulum, so endoplasmic reticulum producing the protein and lipid, those will be inactive form at the first time. And those materials get packed in the Golgi complex. Whenever they get packed, then they are ready for function. They are ready for the functioning there. So such kind of packing material this is. So packing center this is. And the second thing is, of course, it is a packaging that one. Along with that one, it is performing other two functions. Storage and modification of any products. This is another important thing. So it helps in the storage and modification. These are other major two functions. Say for example, protein and lipid get produced from the endoplasmic reticulum. They enter into the Golgi complex. In the Golgi complex, those materials may be stored and they get modified. They will undergo modification. Modification means change, alteration in their chemical structure or alteration in their physical form. When they are going to alter, then they are going to change their function also. That means they are going to they may be converted as enzyme, they may be converted as hormones, they may be converted as pigments, they may be converted as antibodies. So depending on the modification and as well as that packaging system. So here storage and modification of the materials done in case of this Golgi complex. And where exactly means here in the vesicles. So here, okay, let me mark from another marker. So these are vesicles. In the vesicles, those materials are stored and modified. So this is the major thing. So in that sense, vesicles are major parts in the Golgi complex. And how the vesicles will perform that activity means the vesicles are having enzymes. In the previous class itself, I told you enzymes are the workers, the very fast workers of our body, of our cells. So those different kinds of enzymes are present in the vesicles. They are performing this kind of modification work, and also the materials get stored for a temporary time. And those materials, whenever the cell require those materials, then it can be passed to that one. And here, this Golgi complex, it will performing other work also. One is intracellular and extracellular transportation. So this is another important term. So of course Golgi complex will pack, and it will make the material to be modified, then it will pack, sometimes it can store, and after that one, whenever the cell require that material, so that material is transferred by this Golgi complex. If the material is transferred within the cell, so for example, let us imagine this room, whatever the room I am here right now, let us imagine this room itself is the cell. It is one cell, and a Golgi complex is at one side, and remaining in the cytoplasm proportion, many other parts are present, many other organelles are present, and those organelles need some materials, and those materials are now temporarily stored in the Golgi complex, that is in the vesicles, and those materials are transferred to those parts whenever those parts need that material. So that transportation, we will refer it as intracellular transportation. That means inside the cell. Intra means inside, inter means in between. So extracellular means outside of the cell. Those materials can be transferred outside of the cell also, right? So intracellular, extracellular transportation occurs with the help of this Golgi complex also. And sometimes the endoplasmic reticulum also helps for this one. And one more major thing, if we consider these vesicles, they are going to form another major organelles, and these organelles are, we will refer them as lysosomes, right? This is the major one. So that means Golgi complex helps in the formation of lysosomes. Whenever these vesicles get discharged, then they are going to form lysosomes. Again, in the lysosomes, we are going to see different kinds of primary lysosome, secondary lysosome, tertiary, on the basis of their work, on the basis of their modification. But just keep one thing in your mind. Golgi complex, it is attached with a bubble-like structures, vesicles. Those vesicles sometimes get detached and they are going to form lysosomes. The term itself indicate. Lyso means breaking, zome means body. These are the breaking bodies. Say for example, in the cell, imagine lysosomes are present here. So these are the lysosomes. Again, the size may be smaller, bigger or medium or whatever it might be. So these are lysosomes. They are working to digest anything waste in the cell. That means intracellular digesting materials. Or simply I will refer it as intracellular digester. So digester means the organ or the part which will show the digestion process. Just like our stomach is our digester. Like that, lysosome is the digester of the cell. Intracellular means inside the cell. Inside the cell, if anything wants to be digested, if anything wants to be disrupted, then the lysosome will perform that work. Say for example, in the cell, if any unwanted particle enter, any one chemical, any one drug, or any kind of small, say for example, imagine a cell is there. Now the cell is old. Yes, its time is over. Now the cell is old. Now the cell has to die. Of course, our cells are having lifespan, particular lifespan. Now the cell is old, it is damaged. Inside the cell, organelles are damaged. Say for example, sometimes organelles are damaged. Now the damaged organelle, it is present inside the cell and cell is covered by plasma membrane. Now the cell organelle cannot go outside. Why? Because it is covered. Then how to dissolve that old cell organelle? How to dissolve that damaged cell organelle? For that work to happen, lysosomes will work. That means lysosomes are attached on the cell organelle. Say for example, imagine this is one cell organelle, any one cell organelle, whatever it might be. Say for example, mitochondria. Now the mitochondria is damaged, little bit damaged, or mitochondria, now we have to repair it, or the mitochondria now it is not working. On that time, so these are lysosomes. They are attached on the mitochondria. When all lysosomes attach on the mitochondria, so this mitochondria get damaged, broken down or disrupted totally. It is converted into piece, that mitochondria, old mitochondria. How this lysosome will perform that work means, inside a lysosome, enzymes are present. Those enzymes we will refer them as lytic enzymes. That means breaking enzymes. Lytic means breaking enzymes. Those breaking enzymes may be protease. So usually enzymes work ends with ASC. Ase. Protease, lipase, amylase. Such kind of enzymes. Protease enzyme work is breaking a protein coat. Lipase enzyme work is breaking a lipid coat or lipid molecules. And carbohydrates, generally I will consider. Carbohydrates work is breaking carbohydrate. Such kind of enzymes we will refer them as lytic enzymes. Those are different. So many lytic enzymes are present in lysosomes. And just I told you that the old cell, regarding the old cell. Imagine the same situation. Now the cell is totally old. Now old cell should be damaged. That means it should be broken down. It should be made into piece. That old cell. But from externally, no one will damage that old cell. From within itself, the old cell is going to be broken down. How means? So within the cell, imagine this is the cell, this is nucleus, and here so many lysosomes are present here. Now the cell has to be broken down. Why? Because it is old. Now all the lysosomes will burst out continuously. all these lysosomes will burst out. Why? Because the lysosome layer is very thin. It is made up of single layer. So all the lysosomes will be broken down, just like our air bubbles. Soap bubbles will make the soap bubbles. After a few seconds, the soap bubbles will burst. Like that, all the lysosomes will break. When lysosomes will break, so the enzymes are released throughout the cell, and those enzymes will make the entire cell disrupted. The cell becomes totally disrupted. So because of that reason, the cell get to suicide itself. That means no one killed the cell. The cell killed itself by the lysosomes. Because of that reason, lysosomes, we will refer them as suicide bags. Let me write here. We will refer the lysosomes as suicide bags. So this is the utmost important term. Lysosomes are suicide bags. Why? Because the cell get to suicide itself when it is old or when it is damaged with the help of lysosomes. Yes. So after this Golgi complex, its attached part, another major part, another major cell organelle, that is mitochondria. So as already we know, the mitochondria means it is the powerhouse of the cell. Let me write that one. So mitochondria, this is the powerhouse of cell. And imagine mitochondria means these are the bun donut like structures, just like a bun. Imagine this kind of structure, bun donut. I think you are familiar with that one. So bun donut like structure. Now the mitochondria is cut in this direction, right? The longitudinal direction. Now it is cut, and we have opened here. This mitochondria, it is having two layers. So this one is the inner membrane, and this one is the outer membrane. So it is made up of two layers, having two layers. Because of that reason, it is an endomembrane system, part of endomembrane system. And in between the two layers, there is gap, and that gap we will refer it as perimitochondrial space, just like a perinuclear space. This is a perimitochondrial space. So in that space, many different chemical activities will occur again. So that is a complicated one. So this is the inner membrane and this is the outer membrane. And thing is, compared to outer membrane, inner membrane is folded, right? That means inner membrane area is more. Just like our stomach also here, if you consider, okay, let me draw here. If I consider our stomach, so stomach inside it is having one more layer, that layer is folded, just like here. Outer membrane is neat, it is just straight or it is not folded, but inner membrane is too much folded. If I stretch out the inner membrane layer, its area will be more. In that same way, here inner membrane is folded. That is the functional membrane, inner membrane. And here, and keep one thing in your mind. In a biological structures, if the membrane get folded means, if any layer folded means, that is the active membrane. Why? Because its area is more. If the area is more means, on that area, many metabolical activities will occur. So that is the most functional membrane. And here, these folded structures, we will refer them as cristae. These folded structures inside to the inner side to that mitochondria, that is made by the inner membrane. These structures are called as cristae. And cristae are having small outgrowth like structures. So those we will refer them as Racker particles. Okay, we'll come to know that what is the Racker particle. And here, so here throughout space is present, gap is there. In that gap, matrix is present. So here it is the matrix. In the matrix again many chemical reactions will occur, and that matrix here it is having ribosomes. That is one more major thing. It is having its own ribosome. And one more important thing is it is having its own DNA. So this is at most important term. So the mitochondria, it is having its own DNA. Because of that reason, it will work on its own maximum, or it will replicate on its own, or it will double on its own. Say for example, inside the cell, for doubling any organelle or for doubling any chemicals, DNA is responsible. If the DNA works, then other parts will double, otherwise not. But here mitochondria, it is totally covered. Inside it is having its own DNA. And because of that reason, whenever it wants, then it will double on its own. It is not depending on nucleus DNA. And because of that reason, we will refer it as semi-autonomous organelle. We will refer it as semi-autonomous organelle. Semi means half. Autonomous means working on its own, not depending on others. Why I use the term semi means, of course, it is its a division is its a replication or its multiplication is not depending on nucleus DNA, but for other activities it is depending on others. Hence we will refer it as semi-autonomous organelle. Our chloroplast, that means plant chloroplast, also the cell organelle, that is also referred as semi-autonomous organelle. That is also having its own DNA. And here, just I told you, these are the Racker particles. Racker particles work is synthesis of ATP. What is this ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphates. We will refer them as energy packets. So these are the energy packets. And those ATP, say for example, imagine this is the glucose, right? Now the glucose is present outside the mitochondria, that is in the cytoplasm. So that glucose enters inside the mitochondria. When it is entering, it releases energy, ATP energy, by the breaking of that glucose with the help of oxygen. So such kind of ATPs, energy packets, are produced from the mitochondria, and they are distributed to all other parts of the cell. Whenever they need, they will use the ATP, right? And here, mitochondrial number is not constant for all the cells. Say for example, if the cell is physiologically active, if the cell is physiologically active, then in that cell number of mitochondria will be more. Or if the cell performing many mechanical works together, then in those cells number of mitochondria will be more. So for example, just I told you in the previous class, that is in the first or second class, in our muscle cells, hand muscles, leg muscles, so they are the heavy workers. Those cells, muscle cells, are performing heavy work. Heavy work means they need heavy energy. So that means they need more ATP particles. Who will produce the ATP? Mitochondria. That means those cells will be having a more number of mitochondria compared to other cells. Or say for example, if we consider the sperm. This is the sperm, human sperm, right? So human sperm, it is a very active cell. When it get released, so it will move very fast in the random cell, vigorously it will move. And how that sperm is moving means, so it is having lot of energy inside. So this is the head of the sperm, and this is the middle part, and it is the tail. So in the middle part, this kind of many mitochondria are present. That means that is the engine room. This, it is providing continuously energy, and mitochondria is that sperm is moving continuously. So most active cell. What I am telling is, when the cells are most active, they will be having more number of mitochondria. That is the thing. If the cell physiologically inactive or less active means, then their mitochondrial number will be less. And keep one thing in your mind, mitochondria are duplicating, are doubling, are replicating, are multiplying on their own. Why? Because they are having their own DNA. And one more thing, since they are having their ribosomes, so they will produce their own protein. Whatever the protein the required by the mitochondria, those proteins are produced from that mitochondria itself. That means for protein production, it is not depending on others. So it is one autonomous cell organelle, but for other activities it is depending. Hence we will refer it as semi-autonomous cell organelle. That's mitochondria. So just like mitochondria, another cell organelle is chloroplast. That chloroplast also having its own DNA, own ribosomes. So it is also working in the same way, but the thing is, and one more thing. Okay, I will not tell that one. Just one thing. Now what I am telling you is, just keep these lines in your mind and answer for this one. Mitochondria, its work is taking the food. Glucose is the food. Mitochondria work is taking the food and breaking the food, releasing the energy. Right? Chloroplast. Already you know that one. Chloroplast. Present in animal cell or plant cell? Yes, present in the plant cell. Chloroplast work is taking the sunlight, absorbing the sunlight and producing glucose. Yes. Here the same glucose is broken down. Their glucose is produced. And both are having their own DNAs, own ribosomes. Both are semi-autonomous organelles. My question is, mitochondria, it is indirectly proportional to chloroplast in some ways. Mitochondria is inversely proportional to chloroplast work, not by the structure, in their work, in their physiological work. Just that is the clue. How this mitochondria work is indirectly proportional to the chloroplast work, or vice versa work. Mitochondria work is vice versa to the chloroplast work. How it is like that? Think of that concept, and if you are getting the answer, means do one thing. This is the homework. Yes, take one sheet. On that sheet, whatever the answer or whatever the idea you are going to get regarding the mitochondria and chloroplast. Mitochondria work is inversely proportional to chloroplast work. How? So this is the question. So take one sheet and write down the answer. Write down the answer, and after writing that one, please send that photocopy to the group. Please send that one. Other students will see that one, and my intention is just to be interactive with the class for all the students. I'm telling you is, so make that answer and post it in the group, in all the three, in the whatever the group you are. So post that answer. So once again I'm repeating the question. Mitochondrial work, it is opposite to the chloroplast work in some sense. How it is? Yes. Thank you.